Hey guys, welcome to my kingdom. If you like my content, please consider supporting me. Link in the description below, guys.
In the vast landscape of fantasy, epic storytelling, and moral philosophy, two characters have carved their names into history: Thanos, the Mad Titan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Light Yagami, the brilliant yet controversial protagonist of Death Note. Two worlds light years apart. On one side, the cosmic immensity of the Marvel Universe, filled with gods, heroes, and entire galactic civilizations. On the other, the psychological darkness of a Japanese thriller, where death hides within the pages of a notebook. And yet, despite their differences, Thanos and Light share one defining trait: an uncheckable ambition to reshape the world according to their vision. One seeks balance through destruction, the other justice through absolute control. In this episode of Fedrick Fantasy Kingdom, we dive deep into their stories, uncovering what connects them, what divides them, and which of the two carries the heavier burden. The story of Thanos begins on the planet Titan, a once thriving civilization destined for collapse. Born with a genetic mutation, his appearance made him an outcast even among his own people. Raised in a dying world, Thanos developed an obsession to prevent the universe from sharing Titan's fate. His solution: balance through the elimination of half of all life. An extreme vision born from a cold, calculated logic and complete emotional detachment. Light Yagami, meanwhile, lives in our own world, an ordinary Japanese student, top of his class, intelligent, charismatic, yet deeply dissatisfied with the corruption and decay he sees around him. When he discovers the Death Note, a notebook capable of killing anyone whose name is written within its pages, Light seizes the chance to become something more than human, a god who judges and purifies the world. Two very different childhoods, two opposite worlds, but a shared destiny to become supreme judges of existence itself. Thanos' power is physical, technological, and cosmic. Gifted with superhuman strength, unparalleled strategic genius, and an army of loyal warriors, his might becomes nearly unstoppable when he seeks the Infinity Stones, 6 artifacts granting control over time, reality, space, soul, mind, and power itself. With a single snap of his fingers, Thanos can erase half of all life across the universe. Light, on the other hand, wields a power that is absolute yet invisible. The Death Note places the fate of millions at his fingertips. No weapons, no armies, no open battles. A name on paper is all it takes. Light dominates not through brute force but through manipulation, deception, and a mind always 3 steps ahead of his opponents. Thanos imposes his will through fear and raw strength. Light reshapes the world through secrecy and strategy. Two vastly different tools, one shared goal: to control the destiny of humanity. At the heart of their comparison lies a question of ideology. Thanos believes that balance is the key to survival, sacrificing half of all life to save the other half. To him, destruction is an act of mercy. In his mind, he is not a monster, but a savior. Light, however, acts in the name of absolute justice. He targets criminals, the corrupt, and anyone he deems unworthy of life. But as his power grows, so does his arrogance, slowly warping his morality until he truly believes he is divine. And here lies the fundamental difference. Thanos sees himself as a means to a greater end, a servant to cosmic balance. Light sees himself as the end itself, a god shaping reality by his own hand. To visions of salvation, to paths that lead dangerously close to tyranny. Thanos is surrounded by armies and generals, the Black Order, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, Corvus Glaive, and Cull Obsidian. Yet, despite this loyalty, his mission condemns him to eternal solitude. Even his adopted daughter Gamora, the one person he truly loves, ultimately betrays him and is sacrificed to claim the Soul Stone. The Mad Titan commands legions, but he stands alone. Light begins his journey in solitude by choice, working in the shadows as he builds his new world. But his path intertwines with others. His clash with El, the world's greatest detective, becomes one of the most iconic rivalries in anime history. Later, he manipulates Mizomane, who worships him as a god, and exploits the Kira task force, even those meant to capture him. The difference is striking. Thanos loses his bonds for the sake of the universe. Light exploits his bonds to feed his ego. Their enemies reflect their natures. Thanos faces heroes who fight for freedom, the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy, uniting against his vision of enforced balance. Light faces Ella and Nier, brilliant minds who challenge him in a deadly game of wits. Thanos fights wars across galaxies. Light fights battles inside the human psyche. And yet, both are ultimately confronted by forces that embody free will, the defiance of any one individual deciding the fate of all. Thanos has become one of the most iconic villains in cinematic history. His line, "I am inevitable," is etched into pop culture, and his actions sparked endless debates about morality, sacrifice, and the meaning of power. Light Yagami, meanwhile, is a legend within Japanese animation. Death Note is widely regarded as one of the greatest psychological thrillers ever created, and Light remains one of the most complex protagonists in fiction. A hero turned executioner, a god brought low by his own hubris. Their cultural footprints are undeniable. Thanos redefined the modern cinematic villain. Light redefined the blurred line between justice and madness. Thanos and Light Yagami are two sides of the same coin. One seeks balance through sacrifice. The other seeks control through fear. But who is truly more dangerous? The Mad Titan who wipes out half the universe to save it, or the young man who plays God and decides who lives and who dies? Share your thoughts in the comments. Who would prevail in this clash between absolute power and divine justice? Welcome back to Fedrick Fantasy Kingdom.
Fedrick.